part of this video, but yeah, I just finished, it's right over there, but I just finished making a video over the Lost Temples of Arnak, so that'll be coming before this video, I believe Wednesday, and then this will be coming out on Sunday, hopefully, fingers crossed. But you know, with the holidays, it's getting a little harder to film videos, edit them, and then get them out on time, but try my best, and we'll see how that goes. But yeah, let's go ahead and get started. I'll go ahead and open up the box, go over the components, and then I want to try something new where I lay out the board and then actually set down the pieces so that you can actually see where they go and how they function. So we'll see how that goes. Hopefully it goes well, but we'll see. But yeah, I'll go ahead and open up the box here in just a moment and get started. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you're staying safe and warm wherever you are. And thank you again for joining me on this video. It's been a blast making these, and I hope you enjoy it. See you in a moment. Bye-bye. Come back to the next portion of this video. As discussed in the first part, we are looking at Scythe, the board game. And as you can see, it's quite the large box that we have here. So in this section of the video, we'll be going over the components, my thoughts, and then also some of the mechanics of the game, as well as another expansion I got for this game. There is a couple of expansions, I believe, and one of them is in the box already, and the other is in this box here, which is the Scythe, the Wind Gambit, and I will be going over this one as well. I haven't actually played the Wind Gambit expansion. I own it, but I just haven't had the time to actually look at it and play it with friends, but hopefully that will happen soon, but we'll see. But I'll go ahead and open up the box here, and then we can look at the components. Always the most nerve-wracking part, opening the box. But here we have the box. As you can see, we have really beautiful art in this game. It's kind of set in like medieval, but with like technology kind of time. So you have people on horses. Then you also have these giant robots that are fighting one another for dominance over the land. So you'll see a lot of this art around each of the components of the game, but this is Scythe. And as you can already see, it's already popping out with how many components it has. It's probably because I have the first expansion that came with it, or actually that came out. So we have, as always, a rule book. So we have Scythe, the title up there. It's a competitive game, so it's 1 to 5 players, each, fighting against each other to rule over the land. It takes about 115 minutes to complete. But what I have found is that it actually takes a little longer than that, especially if some of your friends or family take a few minutes to come up with their next turn. So it can take a little longer, but that just makes it more fun because you have more time to spend with the people you love. So hopefully this one does. Let's see. And then this one here is the Scythe Automa, which is the single player game in which you can play against the AI. This game comes with achievements, which is kind of interesting. It reminds me of an actual video game where you do or complete certain tasks to get points and achievements. But this is the Automa Factory single player rulebook. We have our, I believe this is the quick reference guide. So I might have to look at this while I show off the components to reference the different actions and turn order and so on. And we have, so this is the first expansion I got for this game, which is called the Scythe Invaders from Afar. If you look at the backstory, while empires rise and fall in Eastern Europa, the rest of the world takes notice. Two distant factions, Albion and Togawa, send emissaries to scout the land, employ their own distinct styles of conquering. So it adds two new character factions that you can choose from and a few other components, but I've only played with the Togawa ones and Albion as well, so I'm not too familiar in how they function, but maybe next time I'll pick those there. And here's the Invaders from Afar. Quick reference, I think. So, additional information. And as always, I'm going to do some tapping and some triggers here, just to break up the silence, or just to add some more ASMR to these videos. So, this is part of the board, the game board. So as you can see, the art style is kind of watercolor, kind of like a painting. It reminds me of the other game that I showcased earlier, the cowboy one. I can't remember the name of it, but it always comes to me as the cowboy game. But this is part of the board, and as you'll see, there's actually two boards. So if you look here, if I can just open this. So if you look here, it's quite large. And the reason for this is the areas and the art and the sections are larger because when you have more players, it's harder to keep all of the components from meshing with each other. So this is an additional board that you can add on to the regular board. So the regular board has a kind of like a blown up side that helps with more players, and then the regular side, that's just, these sections are smaller. So if you're doing like a 2-player game, you'll probably want to do the regular map, and then if you're switching out, so I'll show it here. So as you can see, these sections are much smaller than the ones on this side. So essentially, I had to buy that just in case we had more friends playing the game, but power. So you have 1 through 7, and then you can put in combat cards to increase your power, or some factions have abilities that give you more power or reduce the power of your opponent. So you can do it 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, or 7 power, and that'll reduce your power once the combat is finished. Here are the event tokens. Some additional tokens here as well. Then we have money tokens. And as you can see, we have a 20, a 3, there's a 1, there's a 10, and then there are also, if you're really good, you might get a 50, but those are very rare to get. So there's the money. Actually bring this closer. Here are some player quick reference cards. These kind of help you keep track of what each faction's special and movement abilities are, as well as your turn order and the way things go. There's also this, these are called factory cards, so when you get to the center of the map with your nation's leader, you get an additional action that you can do. So like for this one is, you pay a combat card, you gain 3 coins, and then you also get to move two characters, as many, I think, 1 movement up to 2 if they have that ability, but that's that there. And these are the player tokens. So we have black player, purple, red, white, green, and my favorite color is green, so I usually try to play with this character, but sometimes we do it randomly, so I don't always get the character I want. There's a blue character, and all of these colors correspond to the leaders of each faction, so you'll actually choose your color over what faction they belong to. Here's the yellow. And then, let's see, we have our player boards here. And I will go over these in just a moment, a bit more in detail. We have the additional action board, so this is how you'll be doing your turns, and I'll go over them as well in just a moment. I've been trying to kind of actually focus on showcasing the actual components in like different sections of the video, so we'll see about that. We have these are the resource tokens, so you have oil, steel, we have wood, and then food. And as you can see down here, we have the mechs, and then for each character, as well as under this we have the leaders and the other mechs. But I'm going to be cutting out of this video in just a moment, just to bring these out, because they can be the material they're stored in. So I'll see you in just a moment. See you then. Welcome back, everyone. I've gone ahead and laid out the pieces for this next portion of the video. I figured this would be easier to go over if I had it all laid out, so that we didn't have to make all those like scary noises. But as you can see, this game comes with very, very well done figurines to signify each of the nations or factions that you can play as well as very well done player boards. If you look here, they are actually kind of indented, where there's a groove that these pieces fall into. So, unlike some other games where if you move the table, everything will just fly everywhere, and then there's nothing you can do. These will stay in place until you move them. So it's actually really nice, because it helps you keep track of your pieces and what you're doing. But this is what the player board looks like. Those back there are the player tokens, so depending on what faction you get is what you'll get there. Right behind them are the mechs that each of the nation kind of built to fight their war. And then these are some additional player boards, and as you can see, each of them are a little different. So this one here requires certain things to do certain actions, while this one is a little different here. And again, the art is just wonderful. I think this is some of the best art I've seen in a board game. It looks like a lot of love and dedication went into making this game. Not only in the pieces, the components, but just the overall theme and care that went into making these. But I'll go ahead and just showcase these for a moment. So we have this one here. We have this one that's kind of like a welding, more of a like a factory. Then we have this like snowy town. Then we have this more kind of like field with a statue here and some machines in the background. Then we have an actual like war, so you have these people on horses and the machines in the background. And again, another one where they're all kind of just building their town while the machines loop in the background. But like I said, very nice art. They also make very, very good tapping noises. But so those are the player boards, and they have the name of the game, Scythe, in the back of them. Let me go ahead and get the next set here. So these are the faction boards. So we have Anna and Washtek, Republic of Polania. Bjorn and Mox, Nordic Kingdoms. Gunter, Nagt, and Tag, Saxony Empire. Akiko and Jiro, Tokawa Shogunate. Olga and Chenga, Rus-Viet Union. And look at this art, it's just so good. We have Zara and Kar, Crimean Kennett, and apologies if I'm pronouncing these incorrectly, but try my best. Connor and Max, Clan Albion. machines actually go here. Whoa, I thought it almost fell over. But there's 4 machines per player, so they cover these extra abilities. So as you build them, you take them off, add them to the actual board, and then you gain the advantage here. So like this one is River Walk. You can move from your current location to a location that has steel or population. Submerge, you can move to and from lakes and move from any lake to another. And then this one, and then they all have this one where it's speed. So 1 hex plus 1 hex of movement per character. So usually you can only move once per character. But once you uncover this one, then you can move 2. And then these here have to do with this part down here. So when you enlist, you move these onto here, and then you get the benefit. So it kind of works in that way. But these are the characters. You can see their symbols here. You have a bear, kind of like a, not sure what that is, but it looks kind of like a tower. The wolf looks like 2 sharks or dolphins. A red star. A horse. A boar. Kind of to go with this guy. We're back to the lion here. So those are the character factions here. But at the start of the game you can choose one. It depends on who you're playing with, but me and my friends, we try to just randomize it so that, everybody gets a chance to play them all. And nobody has to hog them, but I'll go ahead and showcase the game board here. So the way this works is that you have your player token, this little person, and each round you choose one location. So here you can move 2 characters, 1 space each, or get a coin. And then if you have these resources, so if you have 2 oil, you can then upgrade it. You move one of these cubes, down here. So that essentially makes it easier to do these actions. So you do your top action first, and then a bottom action if you can do it. And then I usually like to focus on upgrading so I can make the cost of these a bit better. So once you fill in those 2 squares, you would only need 2 silver to deploy a mech. Like I said, each board is different, so you might want to look at your options and then go from there. But this section is you pay 1 coin to get 2 random resources or 1 popularity, and the popularity helps you get points at the end of the game. That one there is you pay sometimes it's power, sometimes it's money, but it depends on the board. But you pay that to produce in 2 spaces, 2 hexagons. And depending where you are, if you look here, there's a person. So if you had one of your, let's say, people here, and you choose this action, they would produce another population. Now if they were over there, they would produce 1 food, and so on. Then you can pay wood to build one of these. So you would place this down where you have a worker, and then get the benefit from that. And finally you can pay 1 coin to gain 2 power or 1 combat card, and then you can pay food to enlist new soldiers, and then you move these to your faction board to get extra stuff. And there's a few other mechanics on here, but it would take a little longer to explain them all, but that's the gist of it. And you can't do the same action twice unless you have a certain faction that lets you do that twice, but usually you have to kind of plan out how you're going to build certain things, produce, and then deploy into the map. So it's a little bit tactical enemy, so this one gives you power. Because, guns and robots. And then this one is a mine. So on the board there are these sections that have this tunnel symbol, and they're all around the center of the map, and you can move from one tunnel to another. But if you build this one, let's say here again, you don't have to be in a tunnel. You can use this as kind of like a proxy tunnel to get to the other tunnel. So it all depends on how you want to play, but it's pretty fun. It's very interesting in how other people will kind of go about their turns, and some people might focus on building mechs and fighting people. Some people might focus on building resources and upgrading certain things. But the goal of the game, if you look here, we have the stars, is to complete 6 stars. And whoever reaches 6 stars wins the game. And then this heart just is to keep track of your popularity, which is in another section of the board. And then down here, we have the power meter. So that's your military power over there. And the higher you go, the more military power you have to subjugate your enemies. But yeah, some people focus on power and fighting and getting points that way. Others focus on building their countries and being the most prosperous. Let me go ahead. And then there's me, who, if you look here, there are these symbols. It's like a little star symbol. So anytime your character lands here, you pick one of these cards, which is like an event card, and there's a character that can pick 2 of these. So you pick one of these kind of stories. So if you look here, distract the rogue mech with your yodeling skills to save the cow. You gain 2 popularity. Or you seize control of the mech and scuttle into the forest. You pay 4 gold to deploy 1 mech. Steer the cow under the mech to see what happens. Pay 2 popularity and gain 2 combat cards and 3 power. And these cards are all different. They all come with their own specific art. So I always enjoy looking at these. That's why I kind of focus on getting these tokens so I can do these. And they can become very beneficial. As you can see, they give you benefits. So take photos for the overly enthusiastic soldiers. Gain 2 medal and 1 popularity. Hire a mercenary to join your group. Pay $3 to enlist a recruit. And then practice your shooting at the unsuspecting targets. Pay 2 popularity to gain 4 medal. So there is kind of like a incentive to do these. Because if you look here, this one, you pay 3 gold to enlist a recruit. So instead of doing this bottom action to enlist, if you don't have those resources, maybe you'll get lucky, you'll draw this card and you can get a free recruit without having to spend any resources or having to do additional things. So different stars. The ones I can remember are, let's see, if you look at the end of the board over there, there's a star symbol. And what that means is if you get 16 power, you get a star. If you reach max popularity, you get a star. If you win a battle against someone else, you get a star. And that one, there's two of those, so you can win 2 battles, which equal 2 stars. If you do all of your upgrades, if you move all those cubes down to the bottom, you get a star. If you build all of your buildings, you get a star. If you enlist all 4 recruits, you get a star. If you get the highest population, you get a star. I kind of feel like Oprah right now, saying you get a star and you get a star and you get a star. But anyways, so there are many different ways to get stars. Like I said, you can be very competitive and, win battles and get those stars that way. Or, you can be more of like builder and resource management. So there's a few different ways to do it. And I'm tapping on this here, which goes on these to kind of keep them from going all over the box, but there's that. This last part I just want to showcase later. So as you can see, we have this lady here with her monkey, and she's the purple character, which is that one over there. So as you can see, it's a very good figurine. So we have her there. And these are the machines they built. So it's a little kind of like a ball. Hoping this will focus. So this is her machine. Then we have this guy with the boar. They're the green faction. And here's their mech. I like this mech a lot. It kind of looks like a dinosaur. Kind of like Horizon Zero Dawn, if you've ever played that game. A lot of these mechs kind of remind me of animals. If it will focus. Okay, focus. Kind of. Okay. So those are the expansion figurines. They come with the expansion. And then we have this guy here with the bison buffalo. And this is more of like a spider. It has 6 legs and then a cannon at the top. So these are really cool. We have this lady here with her bear. I've seen people paint these, but I'm too scared to do it. I'm not good at painting, so I probably won't be doing that anytime soon, especially since they already have the color. This one's pretty cool. She has a bird that she's holding. So that's pretty cool. And hers is more of like it's like a big wheel at the bottom, right there, and then a tiny one. It almost looks like a little cart, a little train, choo-choo train. you know, it might be a little expensive because I think it's just so big. There are so many high quality components, so I have seen it go for quite the price. I got it back a couple of years ago, I think, so thankfully I got lucky when it was a little bit cheaper. But hopefully if you find it, I hope you get it, and if this helped you decide if you had already thought about it, let me know. If you play this game, I would love to know more, because I'm always looking to improve my gameplay so I can be better, next time I play it. So let me know in the comments what you think, if you played it, what your thoughts were on the video, if you want different triggers in the future. I've been doing a mix of soft speaking and whispering, so let me know if you like the mix, if you want more whispering, if you want more soft speaking. I'll try to do whichever I can. Whoa, it's like struggling to try to keep focusing. But anyways, I actually forgot, I'm gonna add one last section to this video that goes over the second expansion with the ship, so I'll see you in a moment, and then I'll let you go for the night. But thanks for watching. See you in a moment. Welcome back, everyone. I just have one last piece here just to showcase that second expansion I spoke about earlier in the video. It's a ship expansion, so it adds ships to the game, so even more components to keep track of. But I hope it's fun, and I hope I enjoy it. I'll have to play it soon, but I'll go ahead and show the figurines, because that is the best part of this game. So here we have the yellow ship. So look at that. It's so well done, such high quality, and so pretty. Then we have the green ship, and it looks like they're all the same model, but you got all those different models for the characters and for the machines and the components. So I understand if they didn't want to make very specific models for these. I don't blame them. It must be a lot of work. Here's the purple one. Alright. Then we have the white ship here. Whoa, I almost dropped it. And then we have the blue ship here. So I might have to play this soon, because I really want to know what these ships do and what they add to the gameplay. So I'll let you know in the comments if I do play it and give my thoughts. But there's that. So that was Scythe, the board game. And I'll just do some final tapping here. So that was Scythe. If you played it, let me know. But I hope you enjoyed this video. I have such a